Bring your game on and kick off with Buddy Govender.
You are listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Pietermaritzburg, 105.6 FM.
Radio Al Ansar.
I have been searching for you for some time now. It hasn't been easy, but I'll find you somehow. I know the road is long, but if you meet me getting to you, I'll sacrifice everything that comes in my way just for you, so I can find you, and be with you, and be with you. 'Cause all I ever want is to be with you.
You are listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Pietermaritzburg, 105.6 FM.
I'm all alone. You'll be something.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhama bikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. All praises be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with an abundance of salutations to be on our beloved Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You're tuned to the kickoff today, and you're normally listening to me when I say BU for you show on a Wednesday, but for today we're on kickoff and we are sitting in for Buddy Govender, and you're Mehreen me. I'm coming to you live from Pietermaritzburg on 105.6 FM. If you to us on 90.4 FM, and wherever you are live streaming from, we say to you a very warm, huge welcome as well. Today is a beautiful sunny day here in Pietermaritzburg, actually very, very hot. I'm sure wherever you are, the weather is beaming. So I'm hoping you're having a lovely weekend, a lovely Saturday, chilled out, really having a very, very good weekend so far, and inshallah it becomes even better. I must just say thank you firstly to my tech. Thank you so much, my brother. It really keeps me going, makes it happen. Textran's boss, I always say that if it weren't for him, you wouldn't be hearing me. So let's give him credit as well. Do you remember that you can send us a message on our WhatsApp line on 0609041056, or you can to talk to you. And remember, on kickoff, it's all about the sport. It's all about what's happening in the. But before we continue with a little bit of sports news, let's give a listen to Salam Alaikum, one of our favorites in this show, and of course on all other shows as well. Inshallah, I'll be back after this.
Radio Al Ansar, keeping you in the loop.
Companion, Radio Al Ansar.
My heart is so full of longing. I wish to be close to my beloved. I dream to walk in the streets of Medina and to quench the thirst of my spirit by visiting you, O Muhammad. Assalamu alayka ya Rasul Allah. Assalamu alayka habibi ya Nabi Allah. Assalamu alayka ya Rasul Allah. Assalamu alayka habibi ya Nabi Allah. يا رسول الله.
You're listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Peter Maritzburg, 105.6 FM.
جئت لنا خاتما للمرسلين بدر الدجى رحمة للعالمين أبا الزهراء كم أشتاق لنلتقيه وأرى عينيك في الجنة تحت النخيل. سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا رسول الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي يا نبي الله سلام عليك يا حبيبي.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. You're listening to me, Mehreen. Our kickoff this afternoon, and I'm sitting in for Buddy Govender, hoping to share with you a couple of news items regarding sports and hoping you're having a fantastic weekend. Don't forget, on this show, you're able to send us a message on WhatsApp, and that's on 0609041056. We're looking forward to hearing from you. But just to give you a little bit of insight, Buddy Govender's show is always amazing regarding sports. So let's hit into some sporting news. What's really happening out there? And we go into soccer first, okay? So bear with me. Remember, you guys are going to be listening to me and you're probably thinking she's going to be talking soccer. No, I'm giving you some news that's out soccer. Okay, so let's go local first. We're talking about Kaizer Chiefs, and we say the Kaizer Chiefs are settling into their new surroundings, which is in Suez in Egypt. They afternoon. The two teams lock horns in the CAF Confederation Cup. That's in a group stage opening match at Suez Stadium, which is tomorrow evening. It's going to be a tough group day match, and it's also going to feature Egyptian giants, which is Zamalek, and Zambian side Zesco United. Matwan Jr. knows, and he says that a win in this fixture is going to definitely set the tone for their tournament. He said, and I quote, "Getting an important 3 points on the board from the get-go is very important, and he thinks that a positive start away puts them in a very good stead." Let's hope for the best for our team, of course, Kaizer Chiefs. And who do you support? We don't want to know right now, but it's up to you, okay? Remember, soccer is everyone's game, though. It's about the unity, about the game. That's what it's all about. Moving on to some rugby news now, live on The Party. That's what the headline says. It's about the Springboks, which start with the pay tribute to R.G. Snyman ahead of his 50th cap. Remember, R.G. Snyman prepares for his 50th Test cap, and that is against Ireland in Dublin today. some very heartfelt tributes for him, because judging from their remarks, of course, Sneban is, of course, one of the most popular players in the squad. And that's thanks to his infectious energy, which is what they say has a playful sense of humor. What makes his journey with the box even more impressive, I think, is that he's managed to maintain those qualities despite having to face numerous serious injuries in the game, which also threatened his derailed career. Remember, it's no wonder then his teammates like Cheslin Colbert, Grant Williams, and Eben Netzebeth, and of course Thomas du Toit, they describe him as the breathing heart of the bomb squad and the box secret weapon, both on and off the fields. What is your take about this therapy situation at the moment? It's all about you and what your thoughts are, because sports is all about you and the games that come up. We're moving on to a little bit of cricket news now, where we talk about Andrek Nokia and his return to the Proteas T20I. So he's returning there for the series in India, which is next month, and this is having last represented the national team in June of 2024. The 32-year-old fast bowler has suffered multiple long-term injuries, but he's back and he's playing domestic cricket for the Dolphins in the CSA T20 Challenge. Nokia's inclusion is, of course, timely, and especially this is considering that Kakhido Rabada will miss the white ball matches in India, including the 3 ODIs, which is due to a rib injury there. And the 5-match T20I series will be on December 9th, which is going to be in Cuttack, on the 11th at New Chandigarh. On the 14th, it will be at Dharamsala. On the 17th, you're going to see that match in Lucknow. And of course, on the 19th of December, the match will be at Ahmedabad. Keeping with the cricket, we're going to talk about Protea Seema Kakhido Rabada now. The Proteas, like we said, has suffered a major blow on the eve of the second and final test against India and Kawati, which is after it was confirmed that Kakhido Rabada will not recover from that rib injury. Just spoke about it just now, but just to give you a little bit of highlights on that one. Rabada has initially sustained that injury during a warm-up session, which was before the first test in Kolkata, but there he played no further part in preparations or the actual match itself. Despite ongoing monitoring from the team and from his people, the Proteas medical team then reported that he had persistent discomfort, and that was prompting his withdrawal from both the second test in Guwahati and, of course, the full white ball leg of the tour itself. According to the CSA, Rabada will begin the first phase of a 4-week rehabilitation program, and of course that is going to be under deep supervision, and he's expected to fly home after that final test. The timeline team means, of course, that he's going to miss the 3 ODIs and, of course, the 5 T20Is scheduled to run up until the 19th of December. We're going to go for a very quick break and be back, inshallah, after this. Stay tuned.
Get ready to elevate your fitness game at First Fitness in Durban's Berea. With a spacious free weight area, award-winning equipment, and exclusive ladies-only parking and training level, we've got everything you need to crush your goals. Hit the ground running on our outdoor track or unleash your inner warrior in our MMA and boxing dungeon. Plus, enjoy high security and ample parking. And don't forget to refuel at our halal coffee and health restaurant for the best in coffees, smoothies, and healthy eats. Join us today and redefine your fitness journey. First Fitness, dare to be extraordinary.
WhatsApp us now on 060 904 1056.
Join me, Buddy Govender, for the Sunday morning edition. Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m. Coffee, current and public affairs, newspapers, food, trends, health, and nasheeds. Setting you up for a relaxed morning with topical and conversational items, as well as spiritually uplifting and warm nasheeds. Breakfast tips and recipes for a healthy lifestyle. Easygoing intro into your Sunday morning with me, Buddy Govender, the Sunday morning edition.
Every day, thousands go to bed hungry, but you can change that. With just 10 Rand, you can provide a loaf of bread. This bread is more than just a donation, it is a lifeline for so many families in need. Be part of the Al Ansar Outreach Slice of Life drive today. Call Outreach on 031 208 1601 and make a difference one loaf at a time.
Radio Al Ansar, Durban 90.4 FM, Peter Maritzburg 105.6 FM.
WhatsApp us now on 060 904 1056.
عارف رايح وين قلبي هموم لا خوف وحيرة ما رايدة عني تزول مخلوق قلبي يقول يا ربي لك ناجي شوف من حالي يا علي الشكوى للإله حالي يتولى بأمره كل شي يموت هو ربي وتعيت فيه يا ربي داويني مجروح شفيني طريقي وريني أملي فيك كبير يا ربي داويني مجروح شفيني طريقي وريني أملي فيك كبير بحياة كفح ونزيد ورضاك يا رب نريد ساعة كل يوم حتى على تشوف داب الشدة تروح وترتاح هذه الروح سعد قلبي يا ربي ترحم ذنبي وضعفي الشكوى للإله حالي يتولى بأمره كل شي هون هو ربي وتعيت فيه يا ربي داويني مجروح شفيني طريقي وريني أملي فيك كبير يا ربي داويني مجروح شفيني طريقي وريني أملي فيك كبير
Yeah, that was your Rabbi Dawini. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome back to the kickoff show. And that's happening here on Radio Al Ansar. And we're coming to you live from Pietermaritzburg on 105.6 FM in Durban. You're listening to us in the surrounds, 90.4 FM. And yep, it's Mehreen. I'm sitting in for Buddy Govender. Buddy, hope you're doing well wherever you may be. And of course, we're missing you in studio. I know your fans are missing you as well. Hoping that we're doing justice to your show just a little bit. Remember, today's kickoff is all about sports. That's what it's all about. Going back to some news that we're sharing with you regarding all the sports that's happening across the globe. We're talking now rugby again, where we saw 11 players who featured in the South Africa season ending the CBN's World Championship victory in Los Angeles. They'll be part of the Blitzbox squad for next weekend's season opener in Dubai. The head coach there is Philip, and he's added experienced Del Watts, Christy Grobbelaar, and Donovan Don to the team. This is, of course, while he was tweaking his leadership group as well, with Impie Frista taking over the captaincy from Selvin Davids, who will share vice-captain responsibilities with Zane Davids as well. Playoff the final in Los Angeles, the Shilton van Wyk will once again trouble defenses there in the outside channel alongside Mfundo and Glovu, with Don, of course, fresh off an outstanding Currie Cup campaign for the Sunland Borland Cavaliers. That's joining them to complete, of course, a dynamic outside back trip. Grobbelaar, who, of course, returns to the fray after representing the Sharks in the URC last month, he's going to add tournament-winning experience to the forwards, an area, of course, that Sneeman hopes they're going to dominate in the tough pool alongside Fiji, Argentina, and France. Moving on to our soccer news now. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has confirmed defender Gabriel is out for weeks. Arsenal have suffered a blow with the news that defender Gabriel Magalhaes will be out for weeks after picking up an injury on international duty with Brazil, which is confirmed by, of course, the manager Mikel Arteta. He said that the centre-back was formed one of the best centre-back partnerships in the world football with William Saliba at the Emirates Stadium, but this brilliant duo will have to be broken up for weeks after he sustained a thigh injury in the Brazil national team last week. Now, Arsenal boss Arteta has confirmed the bad news that Gabriel will miss a number of important fixtures, with the 27-year-old set for another scan to come up. Keeping with the soccer, Manchester United facing Everton at Old Trafford on Monday night, and their key injury concerns are for Harry Maguire, Benjamin Sesko, and Kobbie Mainoo. Manager is going to be saying Amorim he's provided the updates on all three as the Red Devils look to maintain their strong home form. Of course, he has said that forward Benjamin Sesko is limped off during the 2 all draw that they had with Tottenham before the international break, and of course is expected to be out for several weeks to come. Amorim has described the knee problem that's been happening as not that serious, and that's a quotation, but he's emphasized that they will be cautious. As per his saying, and I quote, "He's going to stay a few weeks out. I don't know how long, but it's not that serious. He's feeling better, and in a few weeks I do expect to have Ben back. Let's hope he comes back solid and strong." Of course, some news now about Man City. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has, of course, the decisive phase of the Premier League coming up, and his campaign begins this weekend as his team attempts to close the gap on leaders Arsenal. City now travels to Newcastle today, one day, of course, before Arsenal are facing Tottenham in the North London derby. Guardiola has said that at the end of November, international break marks the point where the schedule becomes continuous and the title race begins to take shape. There are two parts of the season, when the transfer window ends in the summer and after the international breaks are over, as per Guardiola's quotation. Now we will see each other every 3 or 4 days until March. The real season starts now. And that's what he had to say when he was interviewed not too long ago. Guardiola has stressed the importance of staying within reach of Arsenal, describing Mikel Arteta's side as highly consistent. Before the break, City moved 4 points behind the league leaders after a 3-0 win over Liverpool, which combined with Arsenal's draw at Sunderland. Of course, you know, a lot of the beautiful nasheeds get played by Spoo, and I'm going to tell Spoo to play another one right now, and then we'll be back after this. Stay tuned and enjoy. Hoping you're enjoying the show wherever you are, and stay tuned because there's a lot more of news coming up.
Radio Al Ansar, Durban 90.4 FM, Peter Maritzburg 105.6 FM.
WhatsApp us now on 060 904 1056.
Waking up today was no accident. It gave me health and happiness. Alhamdulillah for this precious gift. Live today, not tomorrow. Ya Allah, I thank you every time. I can see it clearly through these eyes. SubhanAllah, these are simple signs. Know that my time is borrowed. From my eyesight down to the touch, I cannot even thank you enough. I promise you I'm not giving up. Jannah is what awaits me. Life has been more than good to me. Even the pain has taught me to see. Appreciate even the air you breathe. Ya Allah, you made me. I'm grateful for every single thing you give me. I'm grateful. And I don't need to worry about a thing. And if I forget to thank you, Lord, just give me a sign I can't ignore. I'm grateful. And I am so grateful.
What you have leads to a single word. Felt with every single nerve. No matter who you are, always put him first. Let it flow like the river. Nothing in this life is truly mine. The beauty in my life that you designed. Now I say it every single time. Shukru alhamdulillah. From my eyesight down to the touch, I cannot even thank you enough. I promise you I'm not giving up. Jannah is what awaits me. Life has been more than good to me. Even the pain has taught me to see. Appreciate even the air you breathe. Ya Allah, you made me. I'm grateful for every single thing you're giving me. I'm grateful. Now I don't need to worry about thing. And if I forget to thank you, Lord, just give me a sign I can't ignore. I'm grateful, and I am so grateful.
I'm grateful for every single thing you've given me.
I'm grateful. Now I don't need to worry about a thing.
And if I forget to thank you, Lord,
just give me a sign I can't ignore.
I'm grateful. And I'm so grateful. I'm grateful. And I don't need to worry about a thing. And if I forget So thank you, Lord. Just give me a sign I can't ignore.
Vodacom Shop. For smartphones, laptops, routers, asset insurance, gaming, IoT, payment platforms, and the latest gadgets to always keeping you in the forefront of innovation and technology. Home and business internet to ensure that you have the best connection. Plug and play home internet to fully installed fiber. Our infrastructure provides a resilient platform for your critical business applications, which will help your business perform best. Vodacom Shop at the Pavilion Superstore 2.0, Westwood Mall, The Bluff, The Workshop Durban, Umlazi Mega City, Bridge City Kwamashu, Brookside Mall PMB, and the Nelson Mandela Square Stanton 2.0.
Do you have abayas, samira, scarves, kitchenware, games, toys, furniture, or small appliances maybe that you're not using? Why not donate to Declutter? The Pietermaritzburg Muslim Women's Organization, together with the Al Ansar Foundation, are asking you to donate your unused but reusable items for their annual jumble sale. Drop off your item at Al Ansar offices at 207 West Road, Overport, or the Al Ansar offices in Pietermaritzburg at 240 Orkman Road. Drop-offs run until the 24th of November 2025. Let's get together and declutter for a cause. The jumble sale, making a difference in Pietermaritzburg.
Elevate your style with Almol kurtas and fragrances from Potent Ice Perfumes, exclusively available at Al Ansar Shop. Visit us at 207 West Road or call 031-208-1601. Experience the best in fashion and perfumery. Al Ansar Shop where elegance meets fragrance.
You are listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Pietermaritzburg, 105.6 FM.
Yep, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. You're listening to Mehreen. I'm sitting in for Buddy Govender this afternoon on Kickoff, talking sports news, and of course, talking everything sporty. Buddy, we miss you, brother. Hope you're going to be back soon. Okay, so we spoke before the break, and I must say thank you, Spoo, for the amazing nasheeds that you're playing. Oh my gosh, really adore the nasheeds that keep going and the vibe that keeps happening. We got to keep it going. So wherever you are, hoping your afternoon is going just as well as ours. We always love being with our listeners and giving you the best that we can. Looking at some scores on the sports app right now, and I'm looking at the Premier League where Chelsea was against Burnley. Chelsea is 1-up against Burnley currently. I do see some fixtures still coming up for the day. That's West Ham United coming up with Bournemouth, and then Brentford's coming up with Brighton and Hove Albion. Sunderland's against Fulham. Nottingham Forest against Liverpool. Crystal Palace coming up against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Manchester City against Newcastle United. In the matches against Bristol City and Swansea City, I see Bristol City's at 2-0 up. Charlton Athletics against Southampton. Charlton's at 1 and Southampton's at 5. West Brighton and Albion against Coventry City. West, of course, at 2-1 there. Then you got some coming up, which is Norwich against Birmingham City. Derby County will come up against Watford. And, of course, you got Middlesbrough coming up against Oxford United. Don't forget, you also do have other matches that were played today. Deportivo Alaves was up against Arsenal, and that's at a 0-0 draw at the moment. You got plenty of other games that are coming up. Of course, remember that Bayern Munich's coming up against Freiburg. You got Augsburg against Hamburger. And, of course, you got Heldenau against Borussia. You do have Wolfsburg against Bayern that's coming up later this afternoon. Plenty of soccer matches coming up, especially those that we're looking forward to. All of us know who our favorites are. So I'm hoping that whoever your favorite is, your team is going to be successful. We do have some scores coming up as well for Killingham and Barnet. They at 1-1 at the moment at halftime. You at Walsall and Harrogate Town, and they at Walsall at 1-0 leading there. Cambridge United is coming up against Barrow. You got Accrington Stanley against Crawley Town. And, of course, you do have Grimsby Town against Swindon Town coming up as well. You do have the Scottish Premiership also, which is busy. You got Dundee United coming up against Falkirk. And, of course, you've got the Rangers coming up against Livingston, with Celtic coming up against St. Mirren. Do remember that you do have a Saudi Arabian Premier League also. Yes, you do have that. And in those matches, you've got Al Fatah, which is up against Al Hilal, and you've got Al Etifaq against Al Fahia. Amazing stuff that's coming up if you're a soccer fan and a football fan. But just some news also regarding football. I'm looking at something where it says Arne Slot confirms that Liverpool will be without injured Conor Bradley for 7 matches. Conor Bradley's injury has left Liverpool facing a fresh defensive crisis, with Arne Slot confirming that the young fullback will miss the next 7 matches during a demanding stretch. Premier League champions, who are 8th in the 2025-26 table with 18 points from 11 matches and 8 points behind leaders Arsenal, they're preparing for 7 games in 22 days, and they're suddenly short of options on the right side of defence. Liverpool are next in action on Saturday when they host Nottingham Forest in a Premier League encounter at Anfield. Slots admitted his squad has been hard hit by injuries at a time when performance levels have already fluctuated, and he said, "We do have some issues after the international break, unfortunately. We do wish them well." Every player out there does their best, right? So no matter where it is, whether it's your opposing team or whether it's your team, as long as there's an injury, we wish them well because they've got to make their comebacks too. Moving on to some cricket news now before we go into another ad break coming up shortly. We're talking T20 Challenge CSA victories for Dolphins and Lions as top 4 take shape. That's what the headline reads. So your top 4 of the CSA T20 Challenge table was settled on Friday when the Dolphins beat the Titans in Centurion, while the Lions overcame Western Province at Newlands. Jason Smith smashed the Dolphins to monumental victory there. Jason Smith has smashed the bowlers to all parts to help the Dolphins chase down a revised target of 107 in just 7 overs to beat the Titans by 7 wickets. That's the DLS in Centurion. Smith struck 68 of just 18 deliveries, while Bryce Parsons chipped in with 19 and Kaya Zondo 12 as the visitors were astonishingly reaching their goal. Keeping with the cricket now, England and Australia share 19 wickets on Pulsating's first day of Ashes. Wow. Mitchell Stark, took 7 wickets, but Ben Stokes replied with 5 of his own. And that's when England and Australia slugged out a 19-wicket opening day in the first Ashes test in Perth. Stark, of course, finished there with figures of 7 of 58 as England were bowled out for just 172. But as England skipper Stokes then took 5 of 23 to have Australia on the ropes on 123 for 9, the close of a pulsating opening day. In the absence of captain Pat Cummins and Josh Hazlewood, the home side needed their senior fast bowler to step up, and of course Stark answered that call absolutely impressively. The left-arm paceman had gave the hosts their perfect start when he led Zach Crawley, and he was caught in the slips in the first over of that game. Keeping with cricket, something of course keeping as well, Dane van Niekerk is set to return for the Proteas women in the home series against Ireland. So Dane van Niekerk, she's set to return in international cricket after an absence of 4 years. That's after being included in the white ball series at the home against Ireland. This former Protea captain, who made her last appearance in international cricket in September of 2021, she had retired not long after that because of being not selected for the T20 World Cup in 2023, but she's reversed that decision earlier this year. So Van Niekerk is picked both the T20I and of course she's picked for the ODI squad that will take on Ireland at home. That's from the 5th of December this year, with 3-match series scheduled in both formats. She has been in good form, of course, for Western Province is the both of Pro 50 and Pro 20 domestic competitions this summer. We're going to go for a quick ad break, and then, of course, Spoo is going to play you something awesome from his selection there. And when we can return, I'll give you some more news. Stay tuned.
رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم سلم نبيا ورسولا
the source of life, and you're the source of truth. To obey you I strive, and my aim is pleasing you. Allah, you are the only one, your promise is always true. You don't need anyone, but we're all in need of you. And I sincerely pray to be among the ones you love, and until my final day I say in all my prayers, Raditu billahi rabba wa bil islam dina. Raditu billahi rabba wa bil islam dina. وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم سلم نبيا ورسولا. My eyes cannot see you, and yet my heart believes your miracles surround me, so clear and easy to see. Allah, you are the greatest, and I submit to you. You know my deepest thoughts, you know everything I do, and I sincerely pray to be among the ones you love. And until my final day, I say in all my prayers, Raditu billahi rabba wa bil islam dina. Raditu billahi rabba wa bil islam dina. وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم سلم نبيا ورسولا. صلوا على النبي 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 صلوا على النبي. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام.
6 meaty flavors. Beat the hunger with real value. Grab the Debonairs Pizza Real Deal range. Great for sharing with family or not. From just $31.90. Choose your flavor from the chicken and spicy pine, barbecue chicken, and more. Real flavor that hits the spot. Visit Debonairs Pizza Halal branches on North Beach, 139 Lower Marine Parade Street, Citygate Center at Joe Slover Street, or Grey on 192 Dr. Yusuf Dadu Street. Debonairs Pizza. Try something amazing.
Maximizing Your Inner Self, a program focusing on emotional intelligence and personal development. Are you in control of your emotions, or are your emotions in control of you? Let's explore with Max Kern on Sundays at 12 p.m. to 12:45 p.m.
You are listening to a live broadcast from Radio Al Ansar, Peter Maritzburg, 105.6 FM.
We'd love to meet you. Pay us a visit. Radio Al Ansar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back to Kick Off with myself, Mehreen, and I'm of course standing in for Buddy Govender this afternoon. We're talking sports and everything sport. Don't forget you can send us your message on a WhatsApp line on 060-9041-056. We're talking sports news, and I'm looking at the app right now, and it's telling me there are some results that I can give you. When it comes to Blackburn Rovers, and they were up against Preston North End, Blackburn Rovers are 2-1 up there. And when we're looking at Valencia against Levante, Valencia is, of course, on 1-0 up there. When it comes to FSV Mainz, and, of course, Hoffenheim, they had a 1-1 draw. And when it comes to Olympique de Marseille, who is up against Nice, Olympique de Marseille is at 5-1 up there. When we're looking at the Saudi Arabian Premier League, Al Hazam has been up at 2-1 against Al Khulud. And of course, remember, you do have rugby that's on, which is the Bordeaux battle against Pau, and Pau is on 34-33. Some news are now keeping in with rugby. Of course, you got the All Blacks who are bid to bounce back for seasons under against struggling Wales. Remember, this is in Cardiff and a week on from England. Scuppering, of course, their Grand Slam aspirations, New Zealand will bid to bounce back, of course, with a season-ending victory over the struggling Wales in Cardiff, which will be today. The All Blacks went down 33-19 to the English last weekend, having first notched up wins over Ireland at 26-13 and, of course, Scotland 25-17. The coach, Scott Robinson, has rung the changes for the clash at the Principality Stadium, bringing on 12 fresh faces to the run-on that started against England. Only the captain, Scott Barnett, flankers Simon Parker and Will Jordan, who switch from fullback to wing, will keep their places. A host of big names such as Barden, Barnett, and of course R.D. Sevilla are rested, but Robinson insisted there would be no underestimating Wales, despite the hosts being on an inevitable 33-match losing streak against the All Blacks. Coming into something that's a favorite of my daughter and, of course, Buddy as well, we're talking sport, and as in motorsport. Norris is, of course, eyeing that big step towards the maiden world title in Vegas. Remember that this is in Las Vegas, and Lando Norris has arrived in Las Vegas this week, and it's a full of confidence matter for him because he's coming back-to-back with his wins and control of that Formula One World Championship race, which he eyes as a maiden title. The Brighton, of course, boasts a 24-point lead in the driver's standings over McLaren. And, of course, that's McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri. And that's heading into the Sunday's race, which is tomorrow, after a remarkable turnaround in form. Australian Piastri, who has 34 points clear after winning the Dutch Grand Prix on August the 31st, he's failed to even the post at a podium finish in the past 5 races. Norris has found consistency at the right time. This is following up his victory from pole position in Mexico with a sprint success and another race win from the front of the grid at Sao Paulo, which is the last time around. No one has failed to convert as big a lead as Norris currently, because he holds with 3 races left in a season since the point scoring system has changed in 2010. We all know that he showed signs of rediscovering his pace in Sao Paulo, but of course was ultimately undone by a controversial 10-second penalty. Even Charles Leclerc, who was forced to retire due to the incident in question, expressed sympathy to Piastri, who ended the race in 5th place when at least a podium had been on the cards. But Piastri, who like Norris has 7 wins this season, he still has time to catch up with his teammate and yet needs to make inroads very quickly. Going back to some cricket now, England is including the spinner Bashir in the 12-man squad for the Ashes opener. We do know that England has named this off-spinner Shoaib Bashir in a 12-man squad. That was happening on Wednesday alongside the 4 frontline pace bowlers, keeping their options open for the first Ashes test against Australia in Perth. Of course, there was no room for speedster Josh Tongue and Bryden Cost, which was preferred, while Ollie Popper had kept his place at number 3 ahead of Jacob Bathel. Now, just something of a difference, but I want to just mention it because it came up as news headlines when I was doing some work on this show. And I have to say it, okay? Trump unveils, and this was the headline, Trump unveils a fast-track visa for a World Cup ticket holder next year. The man doesn't come to the G20, has no other insight on anything else, but he's very interested in this. So coming up from Washington, your President Donald Trump there unveiled special fast-track visas for people with tickets to the 2026 World Cup. But his administration has warned that it has no guarantees of entry to the United States. The United States has promised a seamless experience for next year's tournaments, despite concerns that Trump's border crackdown could hurt some fans. So, remember, for those who intend to join, like this, they said this, okay, and I'm going to give you this. Trump had his people say, and this is a quotation, for those who intend to join us for the World Cup, we strongly encourage you to apply right away. That's a quotation. Trump said this as he announced the scheme in the Oval Office with Gianni Infantino, the boss of the global soccer body FIFA. Infantino, who has, of course, repeatedly appeared at Trump's side since the Republicans returned to the White House in January, has said the so-called FIFA pass was a very important announcement. room for thought, I'd say. Anyway, coming back to Piastri, remember, he has won the Australia's top sports honor, and we have to say, with all due respect, it was a massive, massive privilege for him. 24-year-old, and he's strongboarded into the elite this year. He's igniting that national pride as he bids to become the Australia's third Formula One world champion after Jack Brabham and, of course, Alan Jones. He's on a battle on his hands. Of course, remember, we did say this at the Mexican Grand Prix, but Piastri is recognized at the annual Sports Australia Hall of Fame Awards, which was on Thursday night in his hometown. Congratulations to you. And of course, in Melbourne, he was honored the Australian athlete or team who has most inspired the nation over the past 12 months. Moving on to a YouTube star, Jake Paul, some news here for the former heavyweight champion. You remember, he is in the fight between the YouTuber turned boxer and Joshua, 36-year-old former two-time unified world champion. It's going to take place this weekend at the center in Florida, and the news has come up that that match is going to be on the 19th of December. The fight is going to be streamlined live, of course, on Netflix, which is, of course, where you're going to see the 8 3-minute rounds with the boxers using 10-ounce gloves. America's Paul, who is 28 years old, 12-1 record beats heavyweight great Mike Tyson in Texas in November of 2024. He claimed a unanimous decision win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in June of this year, and he's been set to take on Gervonta Davis this month before the fight was cancelled after a civil lawsuit was filed against the lightweight champion. Coming to Australian Paralympics gold medalist Greco, yes, she has passed on. There was a very sad bit of news that we got this week. This was in Adelaide, and the Australian Paralympics gold medal winnings. Of course, remember, she was the one who won in the cyclist division. She's Paige Greco, and she had died at the age of 28. Her family has said that she had passed on from a very sudden medical episode. Greco, remember, she smashed her own world record in the storming victory in women's C1, C3 class of 3,000 meters individual pursuit at the Tokyo Games in 2021. She went on, of course, to add bronze in the C1 to 3 road race at the time trial, and there is where she cemented her status as a top competitor across both track and road. Greco died last Sunday at her Adelaide home, and her family said, of course, this is her mother we're talking about, and that her name is Natalie. She said that while we are devastated by her loss, we are incredibly proud of the person she was and the way she represented Australia. We send condolences, of course, to her family and her loved ones and all who supported her as well. What an iconic somebody, what a person who actually gives hope to those who feel hopeless right now. Coming up to a close of this program, and I must just say, it's been amazing to be here with you. To round up, I'm just going to give you some news where it comes to something that's happening in Dubai, where you have Rory McIlroy. She's going to be a long-lost $10 million DP World Tour Championships on Sunday. He's going to have his playoff against Matt Fitzpatrick. But of course, remember, this is golf we're talking about. So you did get enough to ensure he was crowned the winner of the season race to Dubai champion. And, I'm going to give you a quotation where McIlroy said, "It's absolutely incredible. And I knew I still had a bit of work to do to get over the line in the race to Dubai." He's going to remain the world number 2, or is he going to take over? We're not sure. But McIlroy topped the European Tours season, and that's ending the rankings for a 7th time, and of course for the 4th season in a row. He broke a tie with Severino Ballesteros and is one behind on Colin Montgomery, who achieved the fate, of course, for 8 times now. Remember that this is the Golf Championships that are happening tomorrow, so you can keep a lookout for that. I am going to bid you farewell at the moment, and I'm going to say it was awesome. Of course, nobody can do this like Buddy can, right? But you know what? We do our best. And you know what? We're missing you, Buddy. We hope you're going to be back next week. But I'm amazed to be. I'm happy to be here. Lovely to be with you. And of course, Spoo, thank you so much for being with me, guiding me through this and being there for us all. I hope you listeners enjoy the show today. Keep it locked onto the star for many more amazing programs that are going to be coming up later today. I am going to pause and just ask you all to do some reflection only on the fact that there are people out there who are going through some difficulties, some pains, some ailments. We never, ever, ever forget our people of Gaza, no matter what we do, how we do it, okay? So our du'as are with our people of Gaza always. Our du'as are with our people of Sudan, of Congo, of every person in a war-torn space. But I am going to say to you that I wish for you to make dua for everyone who is ill. Spoo is busy smiling at me and waving at me, Spoo. I can see you.
How are you, Mehreen?
Yeah. I am fine, thank you, Spoo. Do you want to say anything about our show for today, Spoo? Let's give you the last take.
No, the show was very amazing, and also I didn't know that you are very well when it comes to broadcast the sport. Mashallah.
Let me just hide my face, mashallah. Thank you so much, Spoo, and thank you for all that you did as well. I must ask everyone, like I was saying before that, I just want to ask everyone to please make a special dua for everyone out there who is sick or having any form of difficulty. I know we had a loss of somebody that I was very close to, and I know many of us in the media fraternity were very close to Sister Zakia Ahmed Siddiqui. We lost her yesterday. Allah grant sabr and everything of strength to her family and all of us who lost her. But of course, there are many people, and I know people who are in hospitals, who are needing care, who are needing help and just strength. And we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala needs to give strength to all of those who are families of it, loved ones of these people. But of course, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant those who are sick their strength, their shifa, and their, His blessings and guidance to make it easy for them. So we ask Him to grant ease and comfort to everyone who's going through any form of difficulty out there. And Spoo, again, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for guiding me through today's program. To everyone out there, keep it in your duas and keep it locked into Radio Al Ansar. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.